Hey, everybody, it's so good to see you, even though I can't see you. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. And I got a guest here today. This is the first time I've ever interviewed a guest in my studio. This lady that we're going to talk to, she's an amazing glazer. We're going to talk about what she does in glazing and why is she in my studio. So I want to introduce you to my friend and also my glazing partner. Welcome to the DeafBlind Potter Studio, Melissa, and I'm excited that you're here, and I'm excited to introduce you to my whole audience.
Hey, thank you, Calvin. I'm excited to be here too.
Tell us, where did we meet? How did we get to know each other originally?
I first met you at Freeform Clay Supply, which is a local clay supplier, retailer, and you were coming in for some materials and expressed that you were looking for some help in your glazing, and sounded like a really cool learning opportunity, and you were willing to compensate me for my time.
I think what was amazing is I was in a state in the business where we had to do the Intuit mugs, and the struggle that I was dealing with, the Intuit color that we use, this type of glaze, it was a major struggle to just get it right.
That's right. It was very frustrating.
I remember coming into the Freeform office and be like, this really sucks.
Yep, I remember.
And I didn't know what else to do. And you were standing there with Tiffany and you're like, yeah, I'll do this.
Yeah.
So that's how we really got to know each other. So tell me a little bit about your background. Like, how did you get into ceramics?
So I took my first class at Mesa Community College here in San Diego. It was 2009, and I was fresh out of high school looking for some filler credits, and it sounded like a cool class that I could take with my friend. And that ceramic bug bit me hard, and I just haven't been able to really do any other kind of craft since.
It's one of the most oldest art that you can live history. What does clay mean to you?
Well, first, it's a personal practice.
Yeah.
It's a mode of expressing my creativity. And then past the immediate art of it, I think that it has a really phenomenal historical context. People have been making pots with literally sticks and leaves and rocks for thousands of years. And I feel kind of honored to be like one of those people in line of practicing in that kind of way and prolonging the craft.
How has clay helped you heal?
Physically, in a sense, in 2015, I had my appendix out, and so I could no longer throw. And so I had to learn how to hand build because, of course, I still had to do my practice. I still had to create. So not only was it a physical healing and that I got to learn how to use my body in different ways so that I could physically heal, but mentally, after having an illness like that, it's really great to get your hands dirty and then have a physical product that you can see afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what helped me a lot too, is to heal. And to be able to heal through the loss of my vision. Are you able to throw now?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been able to go back to it, and now, honestly, I kind of think of that as a really great experience because I have skills in both the hand building field and also I can throw.
So for those that are new to my channel or new to what's throwing and what's hand building, throwing is what you see me do at the wheel and I make pieces. But hand building is where you just take a slab of clay and you make stuff with it. I'm mainly a throwing guy. I do know how to hand build, but it's not my forte. I think what's so important is to know from our personal life how clay helped us heal. We can't help but help others. Can you explain a little bit, how are you taking the next step to help somebody else heal?
It's an opportunity to get to know yourself a little bit better. So I find that when people come into my store and they're asking questions, a lot of them are in that mindset of already being open to reflecting. Also, ceramics has a really large failure rate. So being okay with failure also is really important too. So when I try to take the opportunity to help people, I guide them in their practice, whether it's creating, that thing that's been in their head. I'm really good at helping people get that into reality and just having really great connecting conversations every day. I find I have interactions with people that are really fulfilling.
And this is why I love pottery and love clay and I love the medium, and it makes you deal with life because you can't dry it any faster than it's gonna dry. You can't make it make itself. When you glaze a piece, you put it in the kiln, next thing you know, it's a nightmare.
Or it could be beautiful.
Exactly. Melissa is my glazing expert. She comes and helps me maintain the glazes, and now she's pretty much glazing all my pieces. When you come to the DeafBlind Pottery Studio, what is something that you really enjoy?
I love the opportunity to just glaze a lot of stuff. You're constantly making things, so it's a really great opportunity for me to get better at glazing as well. We can be creative, we come up with really cool different glaze combinations, but also I feel like you just living the life that you've lived and the challenges that you've overcome, it's always great to have conversations with people that have a totally different lived experience than I do. I'm constantly learning, constantly laughing, always having fun. So yeah, it's a great time.
One of my greatest challenges is glazing. And I had to come to this reality, and it took me about 1.5 years, that if I'm going to continue to give you the DeafBlind pottery experience and keep you safe, because that's the important thing, is all the pieces need to be food safe. Why did I need to bring in Melissa? Well, because it was a major challenge that I was getting worried, like if I'm producing pieces that are not food safe, am I doing a disservice to my fans? And so when I brought Melissa on, she was coming to my rescue. Honestly, I had to be humble and say it's okay to ask for help. When you came to my rescue, how did that make you feel? Like,
I've never thought of it as coming to your rescue, but I also, kind of to touch on what you said before, I think a really important part of overcoming your challenges is recognizing that it's okay to ask for help. And oftentimes when you do ask for help, you have a better chance of overcoming that challenge.
Yeah.
So when you asked me for help, I was like, all right, yeah, this is something that I can do. And we were working with a couple glazes, and I went into it with the expectation that sometimes things don't always work out, but it was really frustrating when consistently things weren't working out for us.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we were able to dial it in. We were able to figure out, the process that we needed to, make sure that we had a food safe product and something that looked great as well. It felt really great. Just like any, when you open up a kiln and after glaze firing, and it's that, wow, yes, it's that feeling of overcoming your glaze crazing, your cups cracking, a handle not sticking on there the right way, or just the glaze not looking how you expected it to. It is the best feeling when it works out.
Yeah. I think it's important for you, I'm interviewing Melissa, for you to remember, you don't have to overcome every challenge that you have. It's okay to ask for help. And it's a hard thing for me to do. Because I still run my business pretty solo, but I'm getting more comfortable gathering more people to work with me. I'm realizing, man, I should have done that a lot earlier. So when you come over to the studio, what do you do to help me live beyond my challenges?
On a day-to-day basis, I make sure that, all your glazes look the way they should look, have the right consistency, you have enough of them. I need to have them labeled so that I know what ones are which somebody else didn't think was necessary.
But that's the great part, right? Is I go by smell and by feel.
Yeah, so
and so
different senses were used. I need to have my buckets labeled, so that was something that had to be changed. And then also, I have the privilege of having vision. I can see, I can glaze all of your pieces the way that they need to be. I can make sure that the thickness of the glaze is appropriate. I can make sure that the bottoms are wiped clean. I can load the kiln really nicely, make sure that we get the best results.
Yep.
And then afterwards, I feel like I have a pretty good eye of what looks good.
Yep.
So we do a little bit of quality control, and then the ones that I don't think are gonna work out, I let you see those and you feel them, and I point out the flaws that I think there are, and then we kind of move through, and then we celebrate the ones that are the successes.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's been such a blessing having you here. I also don't want to discredit the people that have helped me in the past, like Natalie Harding and Michaela Harding, and they were here as well helping me glaze. And I do want to give a shout out to the Harding family for being there in the beginning stages. But DeafBlind Potter had to continue to live. You've been a major blessing to me. Just knowing that I can call upon you and say, here, this is a struggle that I have today. And you're able to take the piece and make sure that the audience has a piece that helps them live beyond their challenges. I'm honored to have you be here and help me do that.
Oh, thank you, Kelvin.
Because it was going to be a hard task trying to find somebody that's good at glazing. There's not a lot of us. So thank you so much for being here, Melissa. And I'm excited to see what we come up with these next few months, what we end up producing. So go live beyond your challenges.